Episode 9 of the Testament's first season is perhaps the most heartbreaking hour the program has ever produced. All eyes were on two individuals going into the penultimate episode. Daisy, the Canadian Pearl girl who seems poised to become the vengeful angel her companions sorely needed, and Aunt Lydia, who has been discreetly playing her own long game inside Gilead's political apparatus. It seemed inevitable that Dr. Grove, the arrogant, predatory dentist who has been operating with total impunity since his initial appearance in Episode 4, would be held accountable. Just who would deliver it was the question. Becka was what no one anticipated. Episode 9's final sequences, which focus almost entirely on Becka, are among the most heartbreaking the show has ever produced. The path that leads her there is convoluted, and it starts with anger toward Daisy rather than her father. Becca's initial response to Daisy's charges against Dr. Grove is rage. These are the people who accuse her father. The name of her family is being dragged through the muck. In the oppressive society of Gilead, where loyalty to family and adherence to social norms are regarded as spiritual imperatives, a young girl named Becka grapples with internal conflict. Despite her upbringing, Becka pushes back against these expectations. A significant revelation from Agnes, whom Becka loves deeply, unveils the disturbing truth about Becca's father and his mistreatment of Agnes. This shocking discovery shatters Becca's perception of her father, and, in a moment of overwhelming emotion, she takes irreversible action. The terror of the situation arrives suddenly, leading Becka to commit an act of violence against her father during a moment of vulnerability, transforming her life irrevocably. This act marks a dramatic shift in her existence, leaving her forever altered. The subsequent events take precedence over the actual murder. Becka poses as Martha and travels to Agnes's home, arriving in a situation that is obviously problematic. She alternates between rambling, desperate remarks about her and Agnes vanishing together, leaving Gilead completely behind, and assertions of divine justice. As Agnes observes Becka, she realizes that she's not only upset but also falling apart. Agnes informs her parents that Becka is at home out of true love and concern for her buddy. The person who arrives to take Becka away is something Agnes did not expect. The attendees are dressed entirely in black. As they remove her companion, Agnes yells because she thinks she is helping Becka rather than giving her up. The episode ends with that distinction and its implications for Becca's destiny. This is the question that is purposefully left open in the last moments of Episode 9, and it is meant to be unsettling. The Eyes, Commander Weston's intelligence agency, and Gilead's secret police could very well be the ones who abducted Becka. They don't always show up in their typical daytime uniforms, and since Garth will soon be a commander with connections to Gilead's military hierarchy, it's simple to assume that the people in black are law enforcement. Becca's future is most likely non-existent if it were the case. When it comes to murder, especially the murder of a man of social standing, Gilead does not compromise. The punishment is, without a doubt, execution. Becka would just vanish into the system and emerge on a wall. There would be no justice-like trial. However, there's another option, and it is totally dependent on Garth. Garth is more than just a soldier advancing through the ranks of Gilead. He is a Mayday operative, a double agent who works inside the organization he seems to support. Calculus is considerably altered by that. Garth might have called Mayday to fake what appears to be an arrest if he had had any prior knowledge that things with Becka were going to go south. Instead of being soldiers, the individuals in black robes might have been agents. Daisy's strategy was already effective. Becka was unaware of that. Daisy makes the deliberate choice to become a plum, Gilead's term for a girl who has reached adulthood and is qualified to see a doctor, defying everything she said about keeping her period a secret, because disclosing it would start the process of matching her for marriage. With the full intention of starting anything, she schedules a visit to Dr. Grove's clinic. Interestingly, Grove doesn't really mistreat her while she is there. It's unclear if he sees a trap or just doesn't accomplish anything that day. Daisy already knows what he has done, so she doesn't need it to happen to her directly. She therefore creates the appearance of it. Her outfit is torn. She screams about being mistreated as she flees the facility in obvious anguish. Yes, it is a performance. However, it is a performance that is based on something that is wholly authentic. Daisy is merely ensuring that the pattern can no longer be disregarded. She is not lying about it. And it's effective. The charge proliferates. Grove's reputation falls apart very instantly. Aunt Lydia and Commander Judd are compelled to take action since they can no longer afford to allow the harm to the family name to continue. In order to shield Becka from punishment for transgressions she never committed, they intend to postpone formal action until after Becka and Garth are married. It's justice, but it's not quick justice. It was on its way. Becca's hasty decision to confront her father with a knife stemmed from her inability to wait and learn the full truth about his actions. Although her life was not ideal, she could have chosen a path that allowed her to observe her father's downfall from a distance, potentially allowing events to unfold without immediate confrontation. As her father's protective structures began to erode, Becca's impulsive act of violence highlights a moral complexity. She killed a man who, despite being punished, was also a victim of a larger system of abuse. Dr. Grove is depicted as a predator who exploited Gilead's systems and his authority for his own benefit. This narrative leaves viewers grappling with moral ambiguities regarding justice and revenge, as it becomes clear that Becka now must face the repercussions of her actions regardless of their justification. It is not tragic that he died. However, Becca's act of violence is also a form of self-destruction because of the manner in which she gets there. The grief, the wrath, and the love for Agnes that made the unveiling of Agnes's abuse feel like a personal wound. Her father wasn't just killed by her. She put a stop to the version of her life that was breathing. Daisy had to deal with things on her own. She had the right plan. Her intuition was right. However, the execution failed to take into consideration what Agnes's knowledge of the truth would do to Becka, and this discrepancy between aim and result will determine how the story ends. For her part, Agnes is currently in the worst situation imaginable. She sought Becca's assistance in an attempt to keep her safe. It's possible that she gave Becka to the eyes by mistake. She is still in love with Garth and still engaged to Commander Weston, and she continues to see Gilead shut every door in her path one by one. With just the conclusion remaining, it remains to be seen if any of these ladies manage to survive, or if Gilead, as usual, snatches everything away from them first. How did you feel about the 9th episode of The Testaments? Please share your thoughts in the comments section. Do you believe that Mayday or the Eyes stole Becka? Thanks for watching. More exciting reviews are on the way. See you soon.